Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video I want to show you what kind of features location of a house or property must have, right? So when it comes to buying a house or investing in a house or property, and you want to rent it to somebody else and you want to find a tenant or renter, or you want to use a fix and flip strategy in terms of investment in real estate, you need to keep these features into consideration when it comes to location of a property, right? Because location is super important when it comes to buying a house or investing on a property. So what kind of features needs to be kept into consideration? So first of all, the first and one of the most important things is crime, right? So you need to, if you, for example, invest on a property that there has been a lot of crime happening in there or have happened in the past, chances are you cannot get a good tenant, because they will realize that, and chances are they will avoid buying your property or rent from you, right? So crime is super important when it comes to the location of the area that you want to invest or buy. So the second thing is the drugs, right? Drugs. So when it comes to drugs, you need to always understand like what type of, like, better the location. There's a lot of drug dealers working in that area or not, because this is also important. And if people know that this is happening in there, chances are you cannot get a good tenant or someone that wants to rent your property or wants to buy from you. The third one is the school, which is also important. So people and families or households want their children to be educated in a good place, in a good school, and in a school that is well educated. People can get well education, right? So this is so important as well. You need to always understand that what people's needs from, right? What people needs are, right? For example, a lot of households have children, and if they go to school, they need to be in a school that is having a good quality, good teachers, have a good word of mouth. And that's why it's also important that if the location of a property is in the proximity of a good school, chances are you can actually sell your property at a good price and find a good tenant as well. So the fourth one would be population growth. Population growth. This is also very important. So population growth, let's say you invest in a property that it's going up, the population is rising and the population is growing. Chances are the price of your property is going to get higher and higher because of the demand and supply, right? When the demand is high and there's enough demand, chances are your property is going to skyrocket, especially in a location that is growing very fast, right? So like I said, in the economy, because of the demand and supply, your property is going to raise, and that's why you can make a better deal if you invest in those kinds of properties and locations, right? So the next one is transportation. So transportation is also very important. If the property that you want to buy or invest in, is at the proximity of like bus or public transportation or things like that, you can also find a good tenant. You can also find a demand in those kinds of locations and properties, right? So the next one is this is very important. This is actually something that you might have never heard before. Proximity to the local business, right? Proximity to the local business. So First of all, this is obvious. You might have heard about proximity to the local business, but what kind of businesses? What do I mean by local business? For example, let's take think about famous businesses like Starbucks or Tim Hortons in Canada, or there is a lot like McDonald's. Like these kinds of businesses are famous, right? So whenever they want to invest in a location, right, and get a property, chances are they get a property and invest in a property that is there's a lot of population in there, right? Because they want customers, they want people, they want to invest in a property that there is a lot of people in there, and that's why they do the research already, right? So because of this reason, chances are you actually don't have to research too much if you actually uh, get a property nearby those kinds of areas, right? So if your property is nearby uh, famous businesses like, for example, Starbucks, or like McDonald's, you can also find tenants. You can also find good people and a demand for your property, right? So this is something that is also recommended. And the next one is um, the next one is flood insurance. Flood insurance. So there's a lot of people ignore this. A lot of people ignore this flood insurance because they say, okay, this is something that will never ever happen. But this is also sometimes important, especially if you are living in a place or area that there's a lot of rain in there, right? Because, for example, I used to be living in Vancouver, Canada, in BC, so I have never heard about having a flood in there. But in the past few months, I have seen and heard the news about about the rain and flood in BC. So chances are, if you have if you have a property that is in the proximity of in the danger of having flood, or there's a lot of rain happening in that area, chances are you have to be cautious. You have to avoid investing in those kinds of properties, right? So this is something that is super important that a lot of people might ignore, but don't ignore it, because this is important. And natural disaster never let us know and inform us already about that. For example, they are going to happen in the future, right? So this is also super important, and I want to consider this fact as well. Like how likely is it to, for example, having a lot of rain or flood in the future in the area that we want to invest and put our money into. So that's it for today. And I just wanted to ask you something. If you want to, hear more about the, real estate marketing and investing in real estate, I just wanted to follow to this channel, because I talk about this, this business too much in my channel or in my page on social media. So you can follow me if you're interested in this topic. And also, if you're an investor, or if you have a property, or if you're a realtor or real estate company that you want to sell a property, or you want to get more seller leads and increasing your inventory, we can have a chat together to see how we can help each other, because I specialize to help like realtors and real estate companies to get clients by Facebook ads or Meta ads nowadays, or Instagram ads. So thanks very much for today's video and watching. Thanks very much for watching today's video. I appreciate that, and have a wonderful day.